Hi, this is Ben Hart. Most of my sales on the internet come from using Google AdWords, which I believe is the greatest marketing and selling tool in the history of man, because this tool allows you to target precisely and exactly your most likely buyers. That means if you use this tool correctly, you waste no money advertising to people who have no interest in buying what you are selling. This video is mostly for beginners. This video will show you how to set up your first ad campaign with AdWords, and how to use this tool correctly so that you maximize your return on investment with Google. But before we get into that, let me show you why Google AdWords is so powerful. Well, here we are at the Google search engine. Let's say I'm a dog lover, which I am, and let's say I am interested in information about how to care for my dog. Maybe I'm also interested in dog food, grooming supplies, dog training, and just everything to do with dogs. So I start my search with a broad term to first see what comes up. I type the word dogs into the Google search engine. And let's see what comes up. Okay, here are a couple things that I want you to notice here. These sites listed over here on the right are pay-per-click ads. Often you will also find pay-per-click ads at the top of the screen in a special shaded area. These are called preferred pay-per-click ads. That means Google especially likes these sites. So Google gives them a preferred listing status up at the top of the screen in this special shaded area. Now these sites running down the middle of the screen here are the organic search results. These are not advertisements. The site owners don't pay anything to be here. These are sites that Google believes are the best sites on the topic that is being searched for. And we are going to get to how Google determines what sites are best for a search in another video. Here we're just going to show you the basics of how to set up your first AdWords ad. But before we do that, there's something critically important that I want you to notice. Okay, let's say you have a business that's selling products to dog lovers. You're selling dog training programs, grooming kits, dog food, information about how to care for your dog nutrition products, and so forth. And let's say that your goal is to be the go-to site about dogs. So we have now typed the keyword dogs into the search engine. What we find is that Google supplies us with some very interesting information. Up in the area here, Google tells us how many web pages it has found on the internet that are relevant to the keyword phrase dogs that I have just typed into the search engine. And that number is 202 million web pages on the subject of dogs. So now, let's count the number of pay-per-click ads here that are on that subject, the subject of dogs. Well, what we find is that there are a total of 7 pay-per-click ads on the subject of dogs. 7 pay-per-click ads. So your website can either compete over here in the organic or the free search listing with 202 million other websites and web pages on the subject of dogs, or your website can compete in the pay-per-click ad arena over here. Now, which arena would you like to compete in? Over here against the 202 million websites and web pages that are on the subject of dogs, or over here with just 7 websites that are on the subject of dogs? Well, I think I would much rather compete over here with 7 other websites that are on the subject of dogs. Over here, you can be on page 1 of Google for the search term dogs for probably 5 or 10 cents a click. Remember, that's how Google charges you. You are charged each time somebody clicks on your ad, and you decide the maximum amount you are willing to pay per click on your ad. So probably for 5 or 10 cents a click, you could be on page 1 of Google in the pay-per-click ad arena. Whereas you might labor on your wonderful website about dogs for your entire life and never get any traffic from the organic or free search engine results over here. Now, what's wonderful about pay-per-click advertising is that you can have traffic coming into your website from Google within 5 minutes. You see, there really is no such thing as free traffic for your website. You can pay for traffic to your website in one of 2 ways. You can either pay with money on pay-per-click ads and get targeted traffic immediately within 5 minutes and pretty much get all the traffic that you want, or you can pay with a lot of hard work by creating a site that Google will like and list high over here in the organic or free search list. But that takes a lot of time and a lot of hard work and is not reliable. It's wonderful, of course, if you can get your site listed on the first page of the organic search list for the keywords that you are targeting, but it's very difficult to do. But you can be on page 1 of Google immediately in the pay-per-click ad arena. Now, I hear a lot of entrepreneurs these days complaining that pay-per-click advertising has gotten very competitive, and that as more businesses figure it out, the cost of clicks are going up, getting more expensive. It's just getting a lot more expensive these days to get on page 1 of Google than it used to be, these people complain. And of course that's true. One thing you can always count on is that the crowd will follow the money. But look what we have just found out about the dog market. And the dog market is pretty big. There are a lot of people out there with dogs. There are a lot of people out there who love their dogs. There are a lot of people out there who are buying dog stuff. But we see only 7 pay-per-click ads here on the subject of dogs. Google runs 8 pay-per-click ads per page, so you can be on page 1 of Google for the lowest amount per click that Google charges, which I think now is 5 cents. Now, once Google runs through the pay-per-click ads, it then just repeats the ads on subsequent pages. So for your keyword term dogs, your pay-per-click ad will run not just on page 1 of Google, but also on page 2 and on page 3, and on every subsequent page that the searcher goes to for that term, because there are only 7 pay-per-click ads on that subject. Okay, let's test this theory a little bit more. Let's test this theory that pay-per-click advertising is just getting too expensive and competitive. Let's type in the term peanut butter, and let's see what happens. Now, I'm a peanut butter junkie myself, so maybe I'll create a great site that sells all kinds of gourmet and natural peanut butters. Probably not, because I'm busy with my own business, but let's just see what happens when I type peanut butter into Google. I would think that would be very competitive with all those big peanut butter companies out there, Jif, Peter Pan, Skippy, and so forth. A lot of money is being made in the peanut butter business. There are millions, tens of millions, maybe billions of peanut butter fanatics out there. People who just love peanut butter. People who are buying lots of peanut butter. So let's see what happens when I type the phrase peanut butter into Google. Well, I see only 6 pay-per-click ads. And by the way, Google tells us there are more than 20,900,000 websites and web pages on the internet that are on the subject of peanut butter. So if you were to start selling your gourmet and your natural or organic peanut butter on the internet, you would only have to compete with 6 other pay-per-click ads on page 1 of Google for the search term peanut butter. And that would cost you, well, 5 or 10 cents a click to be on page 1 of the search results list for peanut butter. And by the way, there are a lot of ways to keep your daily budget as low as you want, even if you are on page 1 of Google. You just tell Google the maximum you want to spend per day on your ad campaign. And more on setting your daily budget later. But the point I want to show you here is that you could be competing head-to-head with huge corporations like Peter Pan, Skippy, and Jif right here on page 1 of Google for pennies. There's lots of room here in Google's pay-per-click ad program for anybody who has the least bit initiative and imagination to start making money today with Google with very little advertising cost. So if you are not using pay-per-click advertising, Google AdWords in particular, to market and promote your business, you are missing a huge opportunity. Okay, so let's now set up your first Google ad. Let's go to the Google AdWords homepage. And what I do to get there is just type Google AdWords into the search engine, and you will find that site listed, of course, first at the top of the organic list on page 1. And there it is. Click on that. You will then be taken to the Google AdWords welcome page right here.